Welcome back. I think I was stressing my director there, Pole. Now, deaf basketball in Kenya has definitely seen some advancements. One man is here to tell me all about the advancements and what they're looking for in terms of sponsorship and participation is Matthew Musio, the assistant coach of Nairobi Deaf Basketball Team. Please welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Very good to have you here.
Thank you.
Mr. Musio, tell us a little bit about your background and why you decided to become a coach for deaf basketball.
Okay, from my family, mom is a deaf. So after high school, I went and decided to do sign language. So after sign language, the classes, so I decided to go to the field work. So as to advance and to know so much about sign language.
Okay.
So I chose deaf basketball team, the Nairobi Deaf, because it's a field where I'll be interacting with the deaf on a daily basis. So I didn't know that I was going to have a big responsibility over the team.
Right.
So
you just wanted to help in
any way.
Right.
So I met Juma Kent, who was now with the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started by helping him in training as an interpreter.
Okay.
So with time, because he's got a lot of engagement out there, so I still do the coaching when he's not there. So we just help each other. When he's right there, I just interpret. When he's not there, I coach, because he has taught me a lot about basketball.
Okay.
Since I began training with him like 6 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matthew, if you can, just give us a brief history of where deaf basketball in Kenya has come from, because Juma Kent is one of the people who started it from the community and gathered a few deaf people who are really interested in the sport but didn't know where to start. Maybe you can just tell us, where did it all start?
Just to give a brief history. It started in 2006.
Okay.
Juma met a lady, one of the currently a deaf player in the Queen's team. They met in Mombasa. So they just had a chat. So Miriam, the lady is Miriam Opondo.
Okay.
So she explained to Juma Kent that she would be interested to train and to play as a basketballer.
Right.
So they started a team. It was about 4 or 5 ladies in Mombasa. So Juma Kent held a clinic with them. He taught them about basketball. Then Juma Kent came back to Nairobi.
Okay.
So it took some time to start again, because now they were apart. Juma was working, Miriam was working in Mombasa. So in 2007, Miriam came back to Nairobi. She works with the Liverpool VCT.
Okay.
So when they met again, then they decided now to start another team in Nairobi. So now that's how they began. And Juma Kent just went to the streets, because the deaf, you cannot meet them anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, you could not even meet a deaf person in town or somewhere. They were like separated from the community.
Okay.
So Juma Kent went down to the estates, to the streets, and picked any guy he met who was deaf, talked with him or her, and then
Convince them to join. Okay.
Now the team is now working and going on well.
There's a body that kind of oversees everything in deaf basketball, which is the Kenya Sports Federation of the Deaf.
Yeah.
Tell us what their mandate is, and if anything, how they help you when it comes to the logistics of running a whole team.
Yeah, there is the Kenya Sports Federation of the Deaf, and one Mr. Peter Kalai, who is also deaf. So they have helped us a lot, because at times we need balls, we need the training field. So Mr. Peter Kalai has gone an extra mile to talk to the government. Currently we train at Nyayo Stadium, which is on gratis, so we don't pay. So he's gone that mile now to help us. Still, he has contacts outside, so we met one Mr. Guna, who is the Secretary General of the Deaf International Federation for basketball.
Okay.
He's from Sweden. So with Juma Kent, they both brought jail here in the country.
Okay.
We also held a clinic and motivated more deaf ladies and men to join the basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Viewers, we're talking about deaf basketball this morning and not blind basketball. We're talking about deaf basketball this morning. Maybe you can just give us a brief overview of how the game actually works, and you know, how do the players adapt to reading the flow of the game with so many you know, penalties like contact and traveling, etc. How does it work? And for you as a coach, how do you work with the players to ensure that they're following the rules, etc.?
Yeah, it's quite a tricky issue there because,
I'm sure, yeah.
But due to their nature of communication, they use sign language. So they are very sensitive to any kind of signing. So what they do, because they don't hear the whistle, so when the game is flowing and the whistle is blown, sometimes I just lift my hand or I just talk to the other players so they stop.
Okay.
But at the moment when they stop, the deaf players have now fully adapted that when an opponent stops and stops attacking the ball, when the deaf player has the ball, definitely he or she knows that there is either fall or something.
Okay. So when one player stops?
Yeah, they know that there is, the ref has just blown the whistle, either time is over or something has happened.
Tell us about the challenges that come up. For example, you know, if a player is intensely into a game, they're trying to beat the clock, they're trying to make it to the hoop, and here is the assistant coach, you know, raising his hand. Possibilities are that I will not see you. So how do you overcome those little challenges that might actually, you know, win or lose a match?
Yeah, during training, those are the things, some of the things that I train them. Mostly, I train them on conducts and gestures.
Right.
Juma Ken does the technical training.
Okay.
So we have an understanding through signs. If I sign something, a deaf player will understand what I mean.
Right.
Because sometimes they'll start the ball and we have 3 seconds remaining. So I just sign something. The player knows that he has to shoot before the time.
You've got 3 seconds, yeah.
So we have that kind of a structure of signs.
Okay.
That it's me only with them who understand the signs. The other deaf might not understand the signs.
Okay, so you try and keep your signage
my
very
sign
separate from the other teams.
From the other teams.
Right.
So they don't really understand what I sign, what I say to them.
Okay.
Sometimes I shout.
Right.
I forget and shout, but they understand me. That's why we have so much like attached to each other.
Okay.
Sometimes they might not even play a game if I'm not there.
Right.
So it's like I'm part of them, I'm there listening, I'm there here, my ears are their only hope to a play, to a game or something.
Okay.
But currently now they are fully adapted to the basketball.
Okay.
They know the rules, we have taught them the rules, the regulations, so they know practically everything about basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.